Welcome. I am Dolla50. This is the 1000 Million Foundation, also known as the Hip Hop Headquarters. Today I bring to you the new 2022 vaccine Gavel Plaque. The Gavel Plaque can be viewed, or the chemistry can be viewed at the link in the description. If you visit the link in the description, you'll see everything you need to see. Currently, I have a situation present where Novavax hasn't been approved by Food and Drug Administration, but I have a chemistry present at the link in the description that would suggest that the process would be more efficient or more effective than the process that's currently in place, where the vaccine distribution has reached hundreds of millions. It's reached hundreds of millions, and what happens is the process that's in place already has to the process that's already in place. It has to. The chemistry has to be redirected. The chemistry has to be redirected. There's no chemistry currently to the order. Now, this stimulus check business card, well, on the reverse side is a vaccine. What you have is simultaneously in the same place the vaccine and the stimulus check process. But the process that's currently present, people are vaccinated and hungry without food. So maybe I need my process approved by Food and Drug Administration. I have no idea. But what I do know is if you vaccinated, you shouldn't be without shelter. You shouldn't be without food. You shouldn't be without clothing. You shouldn't be without anything that you would need in a pandemic situation where you're taking a vaccine for the pandemic. You shouldn't take the vaccine and have less than what you're supposed to have because the vaccine has spread it all through America. It's supposed to be a new strain in California spreading, but they're not wearing masks in California. They're not wearing masks in the United States completely. So I wouldn't suggest to anyone that you not wear a mask because you've been vaccinated. If there's a new strain transferring, it could be after you've been vaccinated. Nobody really knows what to expect with this new vaccine process that's in place. The process isn't quite a process. It's like randomly picking up, ways to do things, and that's the process. That's not anything you would depend on realistically. It's got us this far, but my efforts have supported the vaccine distribution up to date, but it wasn't in the context that people would have access to the vaccine, and the mainstream people, the mainstream America, wouldn't have access. When the vaccines were initially distributed, the need for the vaccine to be distributed was present, but it wasn't quite first come first serve either. It was like, we're going to take it first in front of mainstream America, then mainstream America would be allowed to take it. That wasn't fair for mainstream America, with all the riots and no vaccine at the time. A lot of people died as a result of contracting COVID-19. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to completely full-fledged implement my process into the mainstream. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi is going to respond to my repeated attempts. I don't know. When I see something that I could use that relevant, I don't let it go for a moment in my own business standards. I can't see anybody, viewing this live broadcast and not saying the same thing. I can't see. I don't know what their intentions would be not to respond to my efforts of trying to introduce this new process. Now, I want you to understand that I'm going to use this Germex. I'm going to use this Germex. I'm going to use this Germex. Now my hands are completely sanitized by Germex. I'm going to let them dry. I'm going to let my hands dry. Now you saw the business, the vaccine stimulus check business card that I just showed you. Now I'm going to show you something that was contaminating my process that now can't contaminate my process because I have a more advanced process in place, including Novavax, at my website and the link in the description. This is what contaminated my process. Vaccine911realty.com by GoDaddy, vaccine911.online by GoDaddy. I would see commercials on TV by GoDaddy and not know exactly what was the relation between the commercial and the person. Looked like they may have been gay or something on TV. I couldn't tell if they were gay or not. They were just, dancing on TV on top of the car and, in the commercial. And it contaminated my process, not knowing if the person was gay. I'm not gay. So when the contrast showed up, it showed up in front of my website. It showed up contaminating my process. Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. Here it says UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, copyright Dolla50. It's set up a little bit different than I had established it, but on the plaque, this is the faceplate that was on the plaque initially, and I removed the faceplate. Now you can only view the process at my website at the link in the description. Now I'm going to set this back down, and I'm going to use Germex again, so that the plate doesn't contaminate my current process. Now I'm using Germex. This live broadcast is the only place you can see that plate that I just showed you. And I'm not going to say anything else about the information that I just presented to you, so that you can understand how something can be contaminated in a process that goes in a certain direction. And if you close the door, then the door is closed. I'm not going to say anything else about the information that was just introduced. Now the stimulus checks that should be issued, they still haven't talked over approving the bill, passing the bill. But my point is the chemistry, the order of the stimulus check. Hypothetically, they pass another bill saying recurrent payments. Recurrent payments is one place, and vaccine distribution is another. Every so often, you have to get vaccinated based on, being vaccinated, having a certain order. Every so often, it's not in the same exact place as the new bill. You know what I'm saying? This information needs to transfer now, where my business cards are keeping the chemistry in the same place as the vaccine. The stimulus check in the same place as the vaccine. Why would you do that any different? Why wouldn't you acknowledge my presence on this live broadcast? The Center for Disease Control is on a new plaque. Majority of the information that I just presented to you is on a new plaque. Luxor Hotel. I mean, the chemistry is impossible to ignore. It's a chemistry, it's an order, a process that's impossible to ignore. Like, how could you ignore the Luxor Hotel on a Gavel plaque, consistent with it being a pyramid in the hierarchy and order of things, the order of life, and everything having a particular direction based on the establishment of that type of chemistry? How could you ignore it? Who's doing that? We need to find out fast before they pass a new bill of recurring payments and the stimulus checks in one place and the vaccine is in another. Why is that separate floating around, based on the president getting vaccinated, the vice president getting vaccinated, the hospitals, the teachers, law enforcement officials? It's just like whatever shows up, that's the order that they use, or that's the fairness that's applied to the situation. It's not fair. The process that they implemented, the way they implemented that process, it wasn't fair. It was like we had to stand by and watch them take the vaccine on on TV. They advertised it on TV. Excuse me, I didn't intentionally mean to reach for my glass, but I still use the sanitizer and I haven't touched anything. So, my prescription glasses, has an extreme challenge attached to them being prescription and my hands being sanitized, and I'm not implementing any new information. So you can imagine how challenging it is. But saying that to say, if you have the vaccine process and the stimulus check in one place, you say you didn't have no idea that they need to be in the same place. That's one thing. But if you hear me saying these people don't have food, they don't have shelter, they don't have transportation, they don't have clothes, they don't have, water, drinking water, clean drinking water, while this vaccine is currently being distributed in large numbers. Why wouldn't you acknowledge what I was saying? That's crazy. All those people are going to be contaminated and die, and the results are endless. Like, why would you not respond to what I'm saying right now before the new bill is passed? At least by the time the new bill is passed, you implement the business card principle of the vaccine and the stimulus check being in the same place at the same time that the new bill is passed. Why wouldn't you do that? I'm going to get out of here. Donate to the link in the description. Feel free to visit the new website with the new chemistry, the new order of distribution. And till next time, the 1,000 Million Foundation, also known as the Hip Hop Headquarters, pays Dolla50.